I think something we overlook nowadays is just how much good momentum the Sonic franchise had going into the 2010s. I'm not gonna go into all that Dark Age talk since it's all incredibly overdone, but by 2013 we had all pretty consistent quality for Sonic games for the first time in a while. Starting with Unleashed, the boost formula was primarily used with great results, and Colors and Generations built upon the general formula. Now, I'm not gonna say which game was the best overall package, Generations, but each game was great in its own way. Unleashed with its epic scale, Colors with its use of the wisps, and Generations finding a perfect mix between the simplistic Color stages and expansive Unleashed stages. I would say that these three games were truly the perfect way to bring Sonic into 3D. The adventure games were great, but they always had some level of change. This could be due to the transitional phase of the industry or Sega imploding on itself, but regardless, they never felt like the right fit, at least to me. However, the formula was somewhat perfected by Generations. There wasn't much of a reason to continue aside from the fact that Sonic Team was used to it. And at this point, Sonic was back in the spotlight. Not exactly at the same level as he was in the 90s, but definitely a prominent player in the gaming space again. So where should Sega go next with their mascot franchise? One that has consistently sold well, even in its darkest days, one that you really want available to as many people as possible. Make an exclusivity deal with Nintendo during the Wii U era, naturally! Yes, Colors was a Wii exclusive, but that was to focus on a specific market. Doing that with the entire franchise was definitely an odd move, to say the least. It didn't help it was for the Wii's inbred cousin. With this deal, 3 games were released on Wii U and 3 on 3DS. Sonic Lost World on both systems, a Mario and Sonic game that probably would have come out either way, and the Sonic Boom trilogy. And do you know what the weirdest part is? Only one of these games was developed by Sonic Team, which means I only have to look at one of them. You better have read that title! I mean, this wasn't the first time a Sonic game wasn't handled by the Puyo Puyo guys, but it was still a bit odd. So, did this exclusivity deal bring the series to new heights? No, it didn't. Sonic Lost World had a lot of potential, I'm gonna be honest. Wait, hold on. I don't want to write off a game immediately after looking at it. I don't feel like that's fair, and I feel like a lot of people do that with Lost World just because of other people's opinions. And to be fair, the ideas Lost World had were actually pretty cool gameplay-wise. Story is another can of worms. Sonic's moveset has been drastically overhauled. If I can compare it to anything, think if they did the 3D world approach to movement. Basically, it's a 2D Sonic game with a third axis. Sometimes. There's also a new parkour system, which at its best can feel incredibly fun to control, and at its worst, I mean, this open didn't taste that bad. But if it's any consideration, it seems a lot of Frontier's moveset is based on Lost World. We got the wall running, it's based on Lost World, I swear. Now, this isn't a problem at all. This could work wonders with intriguing locales and memorable level design. This is the sticker star of Sonic. These are some of the most generic areas I have ever seen in a Sonic game, which makes no sense considering how diverse the series has always been. Heroes on the Egg Fleet, Adventure 2 on the Ark, 06 and Soliana, none of that is here and it makes no sense. Sonic is one of the few platforming mascots known for its world building, so you ignore all of it? Where's the Lost Sex? Why is it lost? Why is everything here so generic? I know, this is a lot of complaining. That's just because I feel Lost World is such a nothing game. You gain nothing from playing it really. And this isn't a small game like Mario Pinball Land. This is as much a mainline game as Adventure 2, but it doesn't feel earned at all. I mean, it's not the first to not feel earned, and of course this is my opinion. If you absolutely love this game, all the power to you. And at the very least, it feels like there is a little passion from it. Specifically in the soundtrack, it's great all around, reminds me just of Generations. I haven't even mentioned the story! Eggman is now controlling this place called the Lost Hex, with these Yeti guys being controlled by his sex toy. Jesus, Ivo. Sonic then kicks away Mike Pollock's plot device, linked to the Zeddies turning on him, and the bitter rivals turned gay lovers have to work together until the last level where he turns on them for some reason. Also, everyone has a death fake out except for Sonic. Literally every character in the game with a name has one, except for him. Tails is immediately known to be alive, but Eggman falls into a river of lava. How the hell is he alive? Amy and Knuckles are here too, and they do nothing! Like, literally nothing. I like they're here, you gotta use them. Overall, Lost World is just like this section of the script. Incredibly messy, with no clear direction or focus. After Lost World, Sonic Team allegedly got right back to new game development. I say allegedly because the next game took 4 years to come out. 2017's Sonic Forces. Of course, this wasn't the only thing within those 4 years game-wise, unlike the wait between Forces and Frontiers, which was just... Sonic Team decided enough was enough. Go back to the boost formula, go in a more dark tone, appeal to the Sonic fans. They mixed up Sonic fans with Hot Topic enjoyers. Eggman, after 26 years and not nearly enough cooking shows, finally creates the ultimate weapon. It's a person. They go by Infinite and beat the absolute shit out of Sonic. I mean, in my opinion, they were just showing their frustration with the series. I mean, that first level was way too short and simple. 6 months later, Knuckles creates a group called the Resistance, a team dedicated to doing nothing until Sonic arrives. The world is pretty much completely taken over by Egghead, but you never feel it, really. It's like you're playing a Sonic game, but with more teenage angst and less level designers than usual. Anyways, you create your custom avatar, someone to help Sonic win this... war? I named him Pebbles. After this, Sonic is revealed to be alive after being tortured for months. They really didn't like that first level. So Pebbles goes to rescue Sonic, but meanwhile we got classic Sonic back. Hooray! If you want 2D level design, just use modern Sonic. Don't haphazardly put him in when he doesn't belong. It's like Amy and Knuckles in Lost World, but to a much greater scale because it's classic Sonic you play as. So Chaos is dead. Oh no. Yeah, instead of new baddies, we get 4 from previous Sonic games. Chaos from Adventure, Shadow from Adventure 2, Metal Sonic from CD or Heroes, whichever way you want to go with it. And, I literally just reviewed Lost World. Who the fuck are you? Chaos isn't used at all. Shadow is just a plot device to show their fakes. Metal is super boring and the red guy is irritating due to how Sonic controls. Take Color Sonic, then remove 40% of his blood. Colors was already limited due to being on the Wii. The lowest common denominator for forces is the Switch. Why is it like this? So homing attacks are now really imprecise, Blue Rat feels weightless in many ways, and oh yeah, the boost levels have been neutered greatly. Did you think I was kidding when I said there were only 3 level designers? One of them is from Lost World. 2 of them have never worked on Sonic before. Why? As you can see, classic Sega. Ruin. So, back to the plot. Pebbles rescues the blue one, they go against Eggman, and that's really the story. There are 2 notable story beats that happen, where the duo gets sent into the dark web, and when the sun blows everyone up. Why didn't Eggman do this right when he concussed Ogilvy? But the null space idea is probably the coolest thing this game has going for it. I love the idea of a world where there's no entrance, no exit. It could lead to great character development, and they're already out of it, aren't they? So, Sonic Forces. It has graphics. All Sonic Team did for 4 years was work on Forces, oversee games from the Nintendo deal, and develop Puyo Puyo games. How did most of these turn out? Okay, maybe we're missing something. I don't know how many people know this, but Sonic Team has been the primary developer for the Puyo Puyo series ever since 2001. There isn't that much to take from it, but I will say you really have to go out of your way to fuck up a puzzle game from a long-running series. And if there's one thing Sonic Team didn't do this era, it was go out of their way for things. In other words, these games are great. Now, I don't breathe Puyo Puyo or Tetris, but I do quite enjoy both every now and then, so having both in one extremely polished package is awesome. Even made a sequel with more options to really get you buy-in. I wish I could say more, but it's Puyo Puyo, what do you want me to say? It was Japan exclusive for a couple years and was on the Wii U and PlayStation 3 there. No, you're here for Sonic Team's most recent game, aren't you? Before Sonic Frontiers, at least. Well, too bad, I'm not buying it! Sonic Origins is a compilation of 5 Sega Genesis games for $40. What else is new? Well, what is new is that they delisted every other version of the games, from the Steam versions all the way to the ports on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Unfortunately for Sega, I bought them all years ago, so I really don't care. I've heard Origins is a bit buggy, has odd menus, and is not a good value, and I can confidently confirm one of these. Maybe later in a few years when it's like $5, I'll buy it, but I just see no real reason right now. I think if Sega really wanted to bring a new generation of Sonic fans into the games, what with everyone from the Paramount movies and fucking Twitter account 2022 is weird, I think they should have ported something more similar to Frontiers gameplay-wise. Sure, we got Colors Ultimate last year, which isn't developed by Sonic Team, so I don't care about going into detail too much. But Colors is drastically different in its tone, gameplay setting. I really don't think it was right for this either. Now, I'm not saying Sonic Team should have remastered Adventure 2 and put it on modern systems, but it was the last time the Master Emerald meant anything, and I saw that short. So, what am I trying to say with all this rambling, all these opinions, all this whining about a cartoon fictional rodent older than me by 13 years? Well, despite everything, I think we should still go into Frontiers with an open mind. We all make predetermined judgments on products based on what we've seen from our similar products. In the Sonic community, I think that's consistently brought on more than negativity. Now, I didn't like Lost World too much. I really disliked Forces, and I think Origins and Colors Ultimate are some of the most overpriced pieces of software ever released for this franchise. But I'm still looking forward to Frontiers. Each time a new game releases, there's always the feeling that Sonic Team is trying to reach for something. And a lot of the time, they fail. Pretty badly. But they have proven they're capable of creating masterclass games, so I'll keep having hope each time they release something new. That doesn't mean buy everything they release. Companies aren't your friends, idiot. Boycott them if they do shitty stuff. Just hold out hope for those developers, the ones working their asses off to deliver something they're proud of. Anyways, here's what happened when I googled Drea the Hedgehog. Should I be scared? I'm very terrified.